Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon to you all from all walks of life. I am Opayemi Adebayo, and you can call me Flex as well. Welcome to the Prime of Blockchain. This is Primal Network. We have so much to talk to you about today. So in a short period, we will commence. Okay, welcome everyone. Everyone, welcome. We have a guest speaker in our midst here. She will be taking us through finance. So just a brief introduction while others join us. This is Primal Network, also known as Primal Network Technologies. And we're better known as Primal. We are a registered technologies company in Nigeria with another registration in progress in India and also in Singapore. So we're basically a blockchain and cryptocurrency company. You can think of us like Ethereum. So we offer decentralized services. Now, everything about us is basically what you know about blockchain for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, Polkadot, Tron. Well, all of that. And we've got more services and more benefits to render to you all than is currently being served in the market. So this seminar will be in two phases. The first phase, we'll talk about finance as you know it. Everything about finance outside of the blockchain. Then the second phase would be about the blockchain, cryptocurrency, and Primal Network. So before I will invite our guest speaker to take the first phase, I want to introduce our team to you first. We have here with us the Chief Commercial Officer, which is Wisdom Tega, known as Prime. We have with us here the Chief Operating Officer, which is known as Rakesh Ramesh, also known as James. We also have Prashant Nahak, which is the Chief Technology Officer, the brain behind our tech. In our midst, in our team here, we also have our legal department, our Chief Legal and Secretary Officer, which is Adeswa Erewele. We have investment and assurance analyst, which is Siva Kundaveti. We have our information technology officer, which is Arvind Kumar. We have our chief brand officer, which is Ridwan Shew, also known as Smart. So we are about 8 of us that make up Primal Network as a team. We range from Nigeria to India and UAE at the moment. And we're looking to expand our team. Then also we have our marketing brains, several of them. You must have engaged with many of them on our social channels, like Telegram channel, Telegram group, Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Discord. We have several of them. We have the likes of Rohit from Bangladesh. We've got Opeyemi from Nigeria here. And we have several of them. All these guys together, we work to serve you and bring you the best and optimal service you can expect. We've got our ecological system that looks to build on what is existing and innovate further what is yet to be done. Part of our goal is to decentralize finance as you know it. So that takes me to inviting to begin the first phase of the prime of blockchain. So you all join me to welcome Ijoma Mezwe. She's Nigerian and she will be taking the first phase, finance as you know it.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. So I would like to start immediately. Please, can I be allowed to share my screen?
Absolutely. I'll grant you that access right away. You're now closed.
So basically, we're going to be touching finance. And, you know, when people mention finance, the very first name or first thought or first idea that comes to mind is money, right? And basically, anything finance is really built around money and financial transactions. Okay, so we're going to be explaining, I'm going to be explaining what exactly money is, because I feel like a lot of people don't really understand the concept of money. And I think that for people who are, most persons who are in blockchain space, blockchain actually gives you a better understanding of money and how money works and how the financial industry works in general. So we'll just start immediately. So what is money? So many times when people say, my grandma, rain is falling where I am, so just forgive me if you hear any background noises. So let me continue. So when people talk about money, or if, for example, we ask someone, what is money? I think the first thought or idea or that would readily come to his or her mind would be the, the regular paper currency, the naira, if you live in Nigeria, the dollar, the pounds, and what have you. However, that is not money per se. That is just one. How do I put it? I'll put it this way. That is one manifestation of money. So I put it that way, or one representation of money, right? So because a lot of things have become money today in our world. So before now, several many years ago, there was no such thing as money. So money didn't exist one time many years ago. Money was actually invented um, as a tool to aid trade. So basically, in school, we were taught about the trade by barter system, where people were exchanging service for service, so, or goods for goods. So basically, to be able to transact, you must have something of value. So basically, a product or service that you want to trade in exchange for the value to receive, or the product you want to receive. For example, you have, maybe um, you are a poultry farmer and you wanted to buy rice. So you need to trade one of your chickens in exchange for the rice, because there was no such thing as money then. So money was invented to solve the problem of the challenges that people experienced as they started trading, which were like being able to determine what the value of the goods or service you are receiving is, and then also the visibility, how to know, okay, for example, let's say you wanted to buy like a bag of rice. How many chickens would you give the rice farmer in exchange for the bag of rice that you wanted? So all those things for measuring value and all that. So that was why money was initially it was invented. So I'm not really going to go into all the history of money, because I feel like everyone should know that. I want to believe that. So money moved from trade by barter to, at a time, salt was money, and then at a time we had cowries, and then from there coins, and then from there paper, and then now we have money going digitally as virtual and digital money and stuff like that. So I have the explanation of money here as anything that serves as a medium of exchange, a measure and store of value. So basically, money is anything. So that's the first thing you have to know. It is anything. So it doesn't really have to be the paper, the currency or whatever it is. It is anything. So if, for example, you want to buy a land, if, for example, the person says, the person that wants to buy the land says, okay, I don't really have any cash on me, but I have this Range Rover Sport or whatever. Please calculate the value of this Range Rover, and then if it's equal to the land, take the Range Rover and give me the land. If that transaction pulls through and the seller agrees to take the Range Rover in exchange for the plot of land that this other person wants to buy, that Range Rover becomes money. So money is anything that serves as a medium of exchange and a store of value. So today we're hearing of blockchain, cryptos, and everything. That is is the same principles on which this same principle is what is driving the blockchain ecosystem, as as if in the finance, in the whole crypto and stuff. So basically, money is based on perception. That's what it is. So money is actually based on perception of value. So whatever somebody perceives as value or as valuable is what you'll be able to part with money for, right? Or to part with his cash for. And then the currency, the naira, the pounds, the dollar and stuff are actually just, I'll call them, and the way I call them is units for measuring value. So your currencies are actually units for measuring value, because money became a tool for that people exchange for value. So you find something of value and you pay for it. And what do you use to pay? The cash you have, the naira, the dollar, whatever it is. So it's became a unit for measuring value and for exchanging value or acquiring value. So what are the functions of money? So money basically is serves as a medium of exchange, and of course unit of accounts. So basically, with the whole money, when money was invented, then we started having issues of accounting, you guys being able to report financial transactions, and then accounting started growing, diverse, and they will start having different branches in the financial industry. So, and also money must be able to store value. So basically, how do you know something is money? You can use it as to exchange, for goods and services or for whatever it is you want. Also, you can use it to measure value or calculate value. So if, for example, you want a land, what can you use to, pay for the land that be the same value as what the land is worth, right? So, or a property rather. So, and then a store of value. So you must be able to maintain or protect the value of that asset or whatever it is you've acquired over a long period of time. So money must be able to store value, and then it must be a standard of payments. Now, the currencies that we have we call them money, but in real reality, they don't really fit into the entire descriptions in terms of the function of money. And that's because there's one part that is missing, being able to store value. So over the years, we've known that currencies, which is like the naira, the dollar, the whatever it is, are not really a measure or a way to store value, basically because of something called inflation, right? So inflation is basically when the buying power of or the purchasing power of your currency starts diminishing or starts going down or reducing in value. So basically, we can know that, or we can, from experience, we all know that what 1 naira could buy 5, 10 years ago. No, what am I even saying? Maybe 20 years ago, because I'm not sure 10 years ago it could still buy something. Okay, so let me say 20 years ago. What naira could buy 20 years ago, I'm not even sure I can see 1 naira in the market today. So and then of course the same thing with the dollar. What $10 could buy many years ago, it can't buy today, basically because of something called inflation. And the thing with inflation is that people will say that inflation is as a result of increase in cost of goods, and they would also say that it is inflation happens when there is excess circulation of money, of currency. So let me say currency. So there's excess circulation of the currency notes. But however, from experience, we have noted that that is not entirely true. The inflation in price of or inflation in value rather of money, or the currency money, or the currency representation of money, has been in 80 to 90% of the cases as a result of government policies. So the government comes, okay, so take for instance the COVID-19 lockdowns, no exports, nothing. Definitely, you can expect inflation already. And the thing is, the whole lockdowns and stuff, it's not like the government consulted with the citizens and said, okay, should we lock down the nation? And the citizens said yes. The government just woke up, said there's a pandemic, let's shut down everywhere. And then the next thing, the prices of goods are going up, basically. And it's based because of their policies. So to a very large extent, the inflation of and the value of currency is very directly affected by government policies. And why is this so? This is because the governments are the ones that actually own the currency money. That is the reason why, you've heard of maybe some cases where, the government, maybe they are probing someone for fraud or corruption, and then they freeze his accounts. Now, this is somebody that maybe probably has worked hard for the money, or maybe sometimes even when the government is just witch hunting someone, and then they just freeze the person's accounts. Question: what gives the government the right to freeze some accounts? That's because they are the ones issuing the money. So basically, the government creates the money, prints the money. Yeah. So because that's how money is actually the currency notes are actually made. So they print the money in a printing press or a minting. They call it the minting press, and then circulate it to the people through bank loans, actually. So that's the process. So through bank loans, that's how they circulate, to the people. So they directly or indirectly, the government has the ownership of the money because they created the money and then they gave it to you to use to do your trade, So that's what gives them the power over that. And because of inflation, you can't really say that money, the paper currency money, fits into the full, description of ideal money. So what we usually would say in, finance is the real money are the assets, right? So they are the assets, and especially when with liquid asset that you can readily convert to, the paper cash. So they're actually the asset because all your assets cross all the function, like ticks off all the functions of money. If, for example, you say you have gold, even though the price of gold has been going up and down, however, if you had gold like 20 to 30 years ago, the value of that gold is not the same. It would have increased. So basically, gold stores value over a very long period of time. But if you had dollar 20 years ago, you can't even say that what that dollar can buy now has increased. So the same thing for properties, lands, and everything. So this is the reason why in the digital era we now have things like Bitcoin and blockchain. So blockchains were built on these premises. So they want to have a digital money that ticks off all these functions of money. And yes, Bitcoin can store value. No matter how volatile the market is, the price of Bitcoin is still always increasing, and it's increasing based on demand and supply in the market. So it's not like the government is manipulating the price, because, for example, if you live in Nigeria, we'll hear certain times where the government will say we are devaluing the naira, and then they just wake up and say now naira is worth XYZ, and all of us just accept it. That doesn't happen in the blockchain ecosystem. It's based on demand and supply. So if people buy or take ownership of the coin, or claim buy ownership of the coin, the value automatically increases. So basically, I think that I'll say it works more like stock, right? So the value increases, and then if people lose faith, it goes down. There is nobody manipulating the figures anywhere, So that is what that's what crypto has brought in to the financial system, especially for us today. So, like I said here, what we know as money now in today's age, before the invention of crypto and Bitcoin and stuff are numbers. So, like I always ask people, I'll say, if somebody gives you $1,000 or sends you $1,000, what makes that $1,000 $1,000? The real answer is nothing. If I give you $100 note, why is it $100 note? It's simply because the government told you this is $100 note. It is worth $100. As a matter of fact, they just printed $100, wrote on top, put a very fine face of somebody, and they said, from now henceforth, accept this paper note in exchange for anything of value that you think is worth $100. Basically, because like we say, when you go to a shop, for example, Coca-Cola products in the local market in Nigeria, you can get a Coca-Cola product for $150. You go to a restaurant, like a fancy restaurant, that same Coca-Cola product is $200 or $250. Because you are in that environment and you perceive the value based on that maybe fancy environment, I say, okay, maybe I'm paying for the AC and the fact that they put it in the refrigerator and it's cold. You pay more. So basically, value is based on perception, literally. So it is just numbers. So money is just what we call money is just numbers that we use in exchange for what we perceive to be what the value of those numbers on the paper. And that's what it is. So, and it is from the understanding of this that, the whole blockchain crypto ecosystem was created. So I'm going to go into principles of money, right? So like I said here, money has no inherent nature. It takes on the form that people generally agree for it to be. Now, many years ago, there was no such thing as Bitcoin. When a very large community of people around the world agreed and said, we accept this in exchange for our goods and services, Bitcoin became money. So I hope you can understand that basically, like we said in the definition, money is anything. So if today we wake up and decide that for our entire ecosystem and everything we do, we're going to use Primal Coin, or of course, Primal Coin has become money. So money is anything. So if you and your brother and your sister or your family members decide to have a family currency, that's up to you, your own family, because and you guys agree to exchange it for your goods and services within your ecosystem. It becomes money. So money really doesn't have a particular form. It's just based on when people come together and say, we've agreed to accept this in exchange for our goods and services, it automatically becomes money. Okay, so like I said here, money can change form over time. So it's basically it's based on people's perception. So that's why money can change form over time. So if any community decides this is our currency, that currency becomes the money, for that certain set of people, right? And then money flows from those that understand it the least to those that understand it the most. The greatest blessing, I'll call it a blessing, the greatest blessing crypto has done for the average individual is that it's brought the understanding of money literally to limelight. Now, I would say that the people that were really leveraging on all these, I'll call it like the deception and the deception of money, is the governments and some of the rich guys, up there. And they would manipulate the market, stock market, different markets to ensure that they are always making the money while other people, they leave out other people. They also, another thing they did was, when they got up there, they literally threw away the ladder so that nobody else can climb up there. So they are just up there, not making money. For example, before now, before we have apps like Robinhood that allow people to trade stocks from wherever they are, like average people to trade stock. Before now, if you want to trade stock, you have to go and meet the bank, and the bank will now refer you to a financial advisor, and then the financial advisor would then help you pick stocks and ask you to pay money. And then at that time, for us in Nigeria, for you to even get to that level, you must have a certain amount of money that was a lot, because they want you to invest a lot. So, but now with as little as even $10, person anywhere in the world with just an application can take part of this, trades that before were left to only the rich. So I think this is what, blockchain, crypto, and the whole fintech space came to do, to decentralize and remove all those bureaucracies and all those blocks that didn't allow the very average person to participate, to be an active participant in the financial system. So this is one of the benefits. So, and today we've now seen, as a result of the presence of some of these things, Bitcoins, Ethereum, the fintechs and all, we've seen very regular people, even teenagers, who just saw a coin maybe 5 years ago, put in $10, and maybe after 5-10 years, they check their wallets and the value of that coin has increased. And, even in as much as millions or so, But before then, before now, these regular people were not really allowed to participate in, the financial system. So that at that time, money was flowing upward. So it's only for the rich, and then now money is circulating, because of course we are even having young people who are entering into the fintech space and then playing active roles in finance by themselves, and they don't even need to be government officials or anything. So the whole, crypto space gave everyone equal opportunity to now be an active participant in finance, so it's not just the government. So anyone can make their own money literally and then have his own community of people that will accept the money and in exchange for their goods and services. And then they don't even need the government interaction or intervention to carry out financial transactions, which actually removed the power of control from the government and put it back in the hands of the people, So, and then another principle here is that money will always follow value, because like I said before now, money is for measuring value. So, and then but the only thing is that value is based on perception, and that's just the thing. But you always know that when you create value, money will come, right? Or when you buy value or something that will appreciate in value, that it will also lead to the increase or in the price of that good. So for example, if you buy a land, that maybe in the next 5-10 years, the value of that land would appreciate. So you say you are investing. So when we invest, we're actually investing in value. Basically, that's what we are investing in value, in something we've seen that would be valuable in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So basically, that's the principle behind money. And then we know that money would always follow disruption, change, and change in trend. And of course, that money is always flowing. So the amazing thing is, when the Bitcoin and crypto started, the banks came and said, this is fake, this is that. They didn't even think that it would be worth anything today. But Bitcoin market, the market cap of Bitcoin has exceeded some of the highest, the most priced stocks today. in trillions of dollars that nobody ever imagined, several years ago, that it would be this important to people. However, like I said, value is based on perception. So when it's a community of people just perceive that this thing should be valuable, it became money, and then it just disrupted everywhere. So basically, those are the principles that money follows. So the reason why I'm going into money myths is because when you go into blockchain and crypto, you really have to understand money, because if you don't, you will still going with that rat race mentality. And from my experience with people, because I also am in the blockchain crypto space as much as I'm in the finance. Anybody that is in finance that is not in blockchain right now is literally maybe is on slow motion right now. So anyways, you need to understand that I like to call it game. So money is like a game. So you really shouldn't have any emotional would I call it emotional attachment? Yeah, but you shouldn't really have any emotional attachment to it, because it is just a tool. So it's just a regular tool, like you have, maybe you want to measure the length of a building or something, you get out your tape rule, right? So it's like a tool for measuring value. So you just need to know that I'm just using it to increase the value of assets that I own. So, and then of course, in these recent times too, we have the whole digital current countries and governments are trying to launch their own digital currencies, e-naira, e-dollar. I think, no, I think it's the Bank of England that was talking about the e-pounds and all that, and then electronic RMB for China and all that. I really don't want to go into all the details of those e-currencies. However, the government is seeing that let me explain it this way. The government is actually seeing that the Bitcoin and the crypto space is taking away their power to control the people. Because if the government can control your money, they can control you, literally. So of course, that one of the ways they pin down people that they are looking for is to first freeze their accounts, their bank accounts. If they want to kill a business, they just freeze their accounts. They just know that they've jiggered. So they know that it is literally taking away their power to control people. And in many cases, if they want to even witch hunt the person. And then that is why they are inventing, now that the whole blockchain crypto space is, literally like the main thing and going out to the mainstream. They too have started running to try to create their own digital currency before people go into the Bitcoin and crypto fully. The reason why I would tell people, if you want to buy your government's currency, that's fine. However, I would advise you not to have more private cryptos that are not government owned than your local money. Basically, because if the government is looking for you right now, they just know one thing. From the headquarters, they just, before now, they would probably look for the bank that you are banking with and then tell them to freeze your accounts. But right now, once they launch the digital money, it's from where they are. They will wipe, and the thing is, when they wipe, they will clear everything in every account with the tap of a button. So that is what it is. So you want to have the freedom, because that's what the crypto space has brought to you. So crypto, for me, I call it the money for the people and by the people. The local currency is the money from the government to the people. So if you want to have freedom to do your transaction, of course, that's why the governments are always like the blockchain crypto, people are using it to do bad things and all that, and they're getting away with it, because there's no way for the government to trace it. It's true, but when you have certain governments that are maybe authoritarian and stuff like that, that is crypto is the escape for the people, literally, because the government does not control your money, and hence really cannot really control you per se. So it's best for you to understand how money works. And today, a lot of money myths have been debunked, like, I have to be rich to invest. Today, with as little as $10. I remember someone who last year he invested in one of the tokens that just started. This guy put in $20. That's what he invested, $20. Between March last year and the end of the year, he had made $3,000 from the appreciation of the value of that token. So it was not somebody that came from a rich family or something. It gave him the opportunity to understanding crypto. Just gave him the opportunity to just invest from where he is and make the money he needs to make without any stress or any hard work, just buying digital assets that will be worth value over time. And crypto stores value, especially they store value over time. That is one thing I know about crypto, especially the tokens that have very good use cases. They have been known to store value over time. They would definitely appreciate, and that has been true. They would definitely appreciate, so long as the team is serious about what they are doing, and then the use case is very good. It will definitely increase over time. And then some of these other myths, I must work hard for every penny. I think this is like a deception that these rich guys gave to the world, because if you understand how if you understand how the stock market works, especially the US stock market, that price moves, price of stocks are manipulated in such a huge way that these so-called billionaires literally just make money by manipulating markets. So they just deceive people and say this stock is crashing, and everybody goes to sell. And as soon as they go to sell, that's when the billionaire will enter the market, buy. Then he will just go pay one of the news media and say, this company just bought this. And then people start rushing to buy. The value will go up. That's when he will sell. So if you study the US stock market a lot, you know that it is based on, to a large extent, is manipulated, very manipulated by those people who are rich. And they just, when they are in the mood to make profit, they just know what to do. To just manipulate the market, just pay one news to spread something, whether it's true or not, and then pay the news again to say another thing, and then they make the profit. But with the crypto space, you too can leverage on all that, whole, manipulation of the market. I won't call it manipulation of the market per se, but you too can leverage on the same principles to make money for yourself. From my own study of the crypto space is actually built on understanding all the deceptions, all the manipulations, that has been going on in the financial system before now, that excluded the average people and just allowed the rich to continue being rich. And then they took that entire principle and built it for the very average person. So that's really which are some of the principles I just explained now. That's the real principle behind the current financial system that we have. So they just took, Satoshi just took those principles, those things that they've been happening all this while, but just up there. And then you really have to get up there to be able to participate. It just took everything and gave it back to the people, So it's not just some people somewhere that are just leveraging on exploiting other people to make money. So now everybody has an equal chance to be a participant. With in the crypto space, you don't know the person that is a billionaire. or anything. Everybody's equal. The person that has $10 can buy the same Bitcoin that the person that has $1 million will buy. So before now, so we would just have acquire all the stock and block out everywhere. No. So the same thing, everybody now has an equal opportunity to, be relevant in this space. So understanding that the new money mindset you should have is, first of all, money is a perception. It's based on perception, right? So money is based on value, what you perceive. Money comes when based on what you perceive as value. And then also the money, the paper money, naira, dollar, whatever it is, that's not real money. And that's actually the truth. It is not money because, like I've explained, it doesn't really tick off all the points of what money really is. And then to understand that money would always, wherever you find value, you will find money, basically, because people use money in exchange of what they perceive as value. And then also, money can be anything and everything. So and like I already explained, money following value is, like I said money is a unit for measuring value. So just like you have your normal tape, rod, whatever it is that you use to measure something, in the same thing, money just measures value. Um, I hope you understand all that I'm saying. So I think this is just some extras. So how do you create value? Value is basically created when human problems are solved. So you know that the financial, so I usually will explain this. The financial system is simply summarized as a value system. Everything that makes the financial system tick is based on value. So what people perceive as value, right? So if I see an iPhone 13, to me it's valuable, I part with money, right? So the entire financial system is based on people's perception of, is a value system. And then you create value when you solve problems. And then there are classifications of different of problems of human needs. There's the physiological, the safety, belonging, esteem, and self-fulfillment. So if, for example, you make an investment, a long-term investment, and because you say you want to achieve this financial goal, XYZ financial goal, you have, you are buying value, right? So if you find a company that helps you invest to grow your income and whatever it is, based on maybe helping you to achieve your financial goal, you have, found something of value. So money always would follow value. So any type of value that solves a real human problem. So basically, that's it. Thank you so very much, everyone, for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ijoma Mezue, for that. That was quite insightful. I'm sure you've all heard from her, and with everything she's shared, you have an understanding of how finance is being run as you know it. And just to add to this, she will also be live on Twitter an hour from now. So you can join us on Twitter for a follow-up on this seminar. So very quickly, we move into the phase 2 of this seminar. Remember, this is the prime of blockchain, and we are primal. So earlier, we introduced the team to you. Before we move forward, I'd like to call in one of our founding members, in person of Rakesh Ramesh, to take us on the blockchain and benefits.
Thank you, Physics. Uh, Wonderful opportunity to share about blockchain and its benefits. I hope everyone can hear me properly. Can anyone say yes?
Yes.
Yeah, thank
Yes,
you.
go on.
Okay, so yeah, now let's start with what exactly is blockchain and why is it so powerful? Because these technological inventions are always powerful and it will be very helpful for our mankind. Okay, now coming to blockchain, um, see, when it comes to a technology like this, especially blockchain, um, we call it as distributed ledger, so that we cannot pirate anything. What do you mean by pirating? uh, and how is it so secure? Why people trust in blockchain, and why this cryptocurrency is sitting on blockchain? Because blockchain is its safe in order to run its transactions. See, when we consider a normal transaction with respect to any bank, there are many issues that arise with respect to any transaction, which might arise as well. Let's say I want to do a transaction from person A to person B, and a bank is the middle person there. When even if though it is our hard-earned money, if bank wants to freeze our account, then definitely we will not be able to make a transaction, or person A will not be able to make a transaction to person B, because we are relying on a third party. A third party is nothing but a banking institution here, or a government, or any central body. We call this as a centralized system, wherein um, all our transactions, all our decisions are centralized. I mean, like someone who is in power is making a decision, and we are facing the consequences, to be frank. Now, when it comes to blockchain, it has a characteristics of immutability. And let me explain you in basic layman terms. What is a blockchain? You can consider this as a distributed ledger wherein everyone who is running a node or a computer machine can hold all the transactions uh, which are ongoing, or which have I mean the past transactions as well. So when everyone is having the access to the ledger or the transactions history, it means it is decentralized, because um, if someone wants to hack, they can hack only one system or two systems, but not the whole system. Let's say millions of people who are having this ledger. So that's where the distributed ledger concept um, it can be called as uh, very cool, because it spreads the ownership and creates a decentralized infrastructure which is more safer than a centralized one. And we can never call a centralized one as safe, because the what do we call, any decisions that might go wrong will impact on um, many people who are depending on it. Now, coming to immutability, let's say I'll make a transaction and it is broadcasted into the network. And once it is broadcasted, we cannot reverse it. So, if I want to make any changes, it has to be added or updated as one more transaction. So, which makes um, uh, like the chain very secure. And if someone wants to hack this thing, they should have a lot of power, or maybe they have to spend trillions of dollars or maybe hundreds of billions of dollars in order to create a fault or a double spending. So that's where blockchain comes in. It solves many issues where the traditional system cannot solve it. And as Primal, we have a lot more benefits, and we are one step ahead in creating our blockchains as well, which will be discussed in detail by Mr. Felix, who is also called as Opemia Dabai. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Rakesh, for that. So that is our chief operating officer, is the one who heads the technical department and every of our operations. Everything you know Primal for has been engineered by the operations department, and many more is being done over there. Okay. I will be taking you through the introduction to Primal Network. This is the first time we're having a live seminar with the larger community. And this will be the last of it. There will be several of it to come with all the guest speakers within the crypto industry to come enlighten everyone about the crypto space. Okay, why Primal? We say we are the prime of blockchain with endless possibilities. And we are going to be the first delegated blockchain that provides multi-chain features with seamless cross-chain DeFi ecosystem, which allows instant in-chain for Primal swap and conversion. Now, you can box Primal to be another Pancake Swap or another Binance. Primal is more than that. Primal is what you know Ethereum for. Primal is what Polkadot is doing right now. Primal is Bitcoin as you know it. So Primal is not boxed anywhere. In fact, currently there are three kinds of blockchains. The one that's been existing for time immemorial. I'm talking of the centralized blockchain. Then we have the decentralized blockchain introduced by Bitcoin. And we have the distributed blockchain introduced by Ethereum. And today, I can tell you there's another innovation in the blockchain that is not in existence yet. But Primal will be the first to bring that into existence. And that is called a delegated blockchain. Sorry, just a second. And that is a delegated blockchain. Now, what distinguishes a delegated blockchain from a distributed blockchain? Very simple. A distributed blockchain means anyone from anywhere can run a node, but not just anyone can actually run a node. To run a node, it costs a lot. You have to spend so much to run a node because a lot goes into it, and you have to be somewhat technically inclined. Now, distribution in itself is a bit limited, and to an extent is controlled. You might say the blockchain gives you the power to decentralize finance. But the question is finance truly decentralized? No. Finance is not completely decentralized just yet. To an extent, yes, but not completely. Now, what the delegated blockchain would do for you is, you as a person, you might just be worth $100, and you have Primal Coin worth $50, and you want to be a part of those that influence transaction. You want to be a part of those that govern the Primal Coin. What delegated blockchain does for you is, it gives you, to an extent, the power to participate even at your level. Now, with delegated blockchain, you don't need to own a node, but with distributed blockchain, like Ethereum, Binance, Polkadot, you need to own a node. So a delegated blockchain allows you to share a node with multiple people all around the world. Imagine you live in a house that's got about 50 flats. The landlord rents out the house for 50 tenants, and you are one of the tenants. You're one of those that have the equal right to reside in that house. Think of the delegated blockchain like that. There is a node, and there are thousands of you who participate in such a node. Now, with that, not only have we, increased the scalability of the blockchain, we have also increased the efficiency of transaction per second. Right now, the fastest transaction per second is between Binance and Tron. Binance can issue millions of transactions within 60 seconds. Tron can issue hundreds of thousands of transactions within 60 seconds. But with Primal, within 15 seconds, we can do millions to billions of transactions, because we're not limited. We're not like Ethereum, who's going to have maybe 67 validators. But right now, we have thousands of you participating in the blockchain, thousands of you active in the blockchain. We are bringing finance to you with no government telling you what to do with finance. We are decentralizing it as you know it, and we're making it a lifestyle. Now, that is an exposition on our blockchain. And we're looking at transiting into the blockchain phase in the first quarter of 2023. Now, let me share you some part of the blockchain in terms of the framework. We have something we call Plata, which is interoperability, consensus, scalability, security, and various other services that we provided for chains built with Plata. So the framework is Synchrochain, that allows people to build innovative products and services on it. Right now, there are two most innovative side chains or blockchains company in the world right now. I'm talking of Polkadot and Polygon. Polkadot is a multi-chain blockchain that is limited to a number of blockchains like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, and one or two others. While Polygon is a side chain to the Ethereum blockchain, which then gives Ethereum the ability to communicate with other blockchains. Up until Polygon, Ethereum was as rigid as the Bitcoin. In fact, Ethereum rode on the Bitcoin as a proof of work before transiting into proof of stake. Now, Primal wouldn't be a proof of work or proof of stake consensus kind. It is a delegated consensus kind of blockchain. Hence the name delegated blockchain. Now, our Synchro chain is going to be the most innovative kind of blockchain you could ever come across. The kind of blockchain that provides a one signature currency. Now, what is one signature currency? It's the kind of currency that allows you to communicate with other cryptocurrencies without actively swapping or exchanging. Now, to put that in lay terms, say you want to convert BNB to BTC, and imagine the Binance blockchain allows you to store BTC without actually wrapping it. Now, when you store BTC without wrapping it, what that means is when you receive BTC in your wallet or your account, it reflects in your balance as a Binance value. So if you receive 3 BTC, the equivalent of 3 BTC would reflect in your account in the value of Binance. Now, when that reflects in your account in the value of Binance, you can then send back Binance in the value of BTC to someone who requires Binance from you without you swapping the BTC for Binance. Now, that is some innovation that is not in the market yet. And that's something Primal will be bringing to you. Now, Primal also will aid e-commerce or commerce. Primal will provide platforms that would allow you not to just receive payments from wallet to wallet, but in a gateway payment platform that is 100% crypto and 100% PRM. Now, these are things that formulate the use cases for Primal. Primal is going to be a financial institution of its own. It's going to have an economy of its own, and all holders of Primal will be deemed to be citizens of a digital state called Primal. Every currency requires economy to thrive. In the crypto space, the only thing we thrive on at this time is demand and supply. When there is a perception in value for a certain currency, the value of that currency goes up as demands pour in. Now, the moment there is food, FUD, spread by someone who is influential, especially such person being regarded as a shareholder, then that currency will plummet. And at that instance, the value placed on that currency will take a nosedive for the time being. If care is not taken, such currency might not recover for a long time. Now, that is a deficiency in the crypto space. Now, what Primal would do differently is to provide an economy that does not thrive on demand and supply. Demand and supply mostly thrives on wants. But demand and supply becomes a behind the scene mechanism when there is a need on necessity, just like barter. When you trade your phone for a service in barter, it is as a result of a need, not just a want. Now, Primal will explore the concept of necessity to create an economy that gives a near stability to Primal, where Primal can be at a certain value and not plummet, like some would call the bull or the ram in the trading space. It will not plummet and nosedive drastically like that. It will be stable to an extent without a fiat backing. Now, what is this economy? The products and services we provide, they serve the basis of the economy, which is our ecosystem. The coin is the tokenomics. Now, bringing this together, everything Primal will do from now to the blockchain and from the blockchain forward would be exchanged only using the PRM. Now, when promoting such, especially when we're in the blockchain era, there are certain products that has to do with finance, such like insurance. Primal would bring all financial institutions to the blockchain, render you insurance services, assurance services, trading services, payment gateway, everything you can think you need finance for, everything would be on the Primal blockchain without having institutions anywhere. Now, who are going to be the operators of these institutions? You, not us. We will provide you the platter. What you have to do is build on it. Now, you can build on it with $0. That's where we come in. We will power your innovations with PRM. When we power your innovations with PRM, you become a financial institution of your own using the Primal blockchain. When you become a financial institution of your own, you can then spread that wealth within your community using PRM. That way, you have decentralized and delegated finance to everyone without moving an inch from the comfort of your home. Now, these are part of the things Primal aim to bring to you. So Primal won't just be another coin coming with a payment service or coming as a gaming coin or as another DeFi coin. No, we're coming with a full ecosystem to decentralize finance completely. Now, there's so much to share on this, which we would share on Twitter, but I will like to take this opportunity to call on another member of us to take us on the next phase. So I'd like to call in Ridwan, also known as Smart, to take us on the benefits of Primal plus future use case.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Felix. I believe everyone can hear me. Okay, so please, if you can hear me, let me know.
Yes, go on.
Okay, thank you. Yes. So we have been discussing about primer. And I believe many of us have seen the difference between the primer and every other blockchain project out there. But I'm not going to say much about this. I'll only take us through the features of primer, the initial token chain, and I'll also take us through a brief use case of the primer. Okay, 1 minute, please. Okay, so Mr. Phillips, please help me with the screen. I can't see the screen from my end here. Okay.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I can't see the screen here. Please help me
Oh.
share the document. I can't see it.
All right. There you go. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, thank you. Okay. So we are going to discuss about the quick pick of primer. As we all know, there are several components that make us the primer chain. In fact, the primer chain is just for the coexistence of innumerable blockchain and also a foundation of innovative building. There are many objective and many uses of the prime coin, that is the primer, which I believe many of us have been seeing so far. When we talk about the Cycom chain, we serve as a junction of connection and communication from cycle chain and primer. Now, let's take a look at the Cyclone chain, which is the independent coin that is either built or plugged to run on a Cyclone chain. We look at the radius, which is the cycle chain, but differ a little as a temporary chain, unlike the cycle chain. Now, all these features up to the observer that watch and inspect the network and report malicious activities. This is one main coin, that is Primer. It is one main coin, 2 token native to the Primer chain. It is most unique cryptocurrency and the first non-flat bag stable currency with a little to zero volatility. Yes, Primer. Our Prime, we all know the code is PRM, which is the main coin and available to the public, powered by the Primer chain. We also have Flix, which is our fixing token. It can be used only for such purpose and not available to the public. And we have the RAPT. This is our governance token for qualification of primers and other governance activities. Now let's move to the initial token coin. The Prime will first be a token on the Binance Smart Chain, yes, BEP20, which everyone is familiar with. But one thing you should know is the sales will take place as a BEP20 token and get listed on exchange before the transaction into a coin in a native blockchain, yes. One of the big announcements I would like to share with everyone, Primer, which is the Prime coin, the PRM, is not just going to be a mere token. The PRM is going to have its own native blockchain and is going to become a coin in the near future. So be ready when you are listing out a coin, be ready to count the PRM as one of the powerful coins alongside with the BNB, Ethereum, BTC, and so on. Let's take a look at the features. Multi-chain support. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Tron, Polkadot, and so on. These features, these are going to be supported by Primer. Now we have in-chain, that is within Primer. We have instant swap and conversion of currency. On the Primer blockchain, there are going to be something we call instant swap. We have one signature wallet to receive coin from any blockchain and store balance in any coin. Now, this is a powerful feature which you can barely see in any other. I can even say there is no other blockchain that is coming up with these features. The Primer blockchain is going to come with one signature whereby when you send in any cryptocurrency, when you send in any coin, this wallet is going to receive any coin from any blockchain and store the balance in any coin. Also, our exchange is going to be centralized and decentralized. We also have a complete DeFi service, which include NFT, insurance, banking, markets, e-commerce, trade, and so on. Our operating system OS, mobile PC device, and power and run application. We have the software and application. We have mobile and PC device software and app. We have the digital services. We have the search engine, e-commerce, social media, messenger, and so many more. Also, don't forget the key features, which is the payment service, the gateway, the processor, the POS, ATM, and many more. When you think of anything, you can think of Primer. When you think of banking, you should think of Primer. When you think of commercial, you should think of Primer. Anything you can think of, anything, Primer is going to cover everything because we are coming up with a solution, bringing a solution to the community, bringing a solution to everyone. A lot of us have been into blockchain for so many years. We have several questions running through our mind. We have been waiting for a technology, a blockchain that is going to solve all our queries, all our needs. We've seen a lot of blockchain coming up with a lot of features, but yet they don't cover all these things we need. But I'm going to tell you right here today, when you are thinking of anything, you should think of Primer. Primer is coming up into this community, is coming into the society to solve all the questions, all the queries. Whatever you want to do, your banking system, your social life, everything, you think of Primer. Transportation, think of Primer, because Primer is coming up with a lot more, with a good and affordable rate, whereby every use cases, everything you can think of, Primer is going to cover it. Now let's go to the uses. DeFi project and service, PRM, for any kind of transaction, payment, trade, investment, exchange, and other financial and daily needs related affairs. Everything, Primer is going to take over it. So these are the use cases of Primer. Primer is here for everyone, here for the community. Now we move on into the tokenomics, which I'm going to allow the MD, Mr. Felix, to take us through the tokenomics of Primer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ridwan, for that. There's so much to talk about, and we have just a limited time because we have to go to a Twitter space to go and to continue the seminar there. So within few minutes, our tokenomics is quite simple. When you think of tokenomics, you think of the ecological values you're arranging and how those ecological values in turn affect the token. Without those values, there can be no perception for you to value a coin. Now, our tokenomics is designed in such a way to benefit everyone, not just in terms of transaction fees, but also to empower and create wealth for even the most modest person that holds the Primer coin. So, transaction fee of other currencies aside PRM within Primer chain would be 0.35% of the value transacted, which the charges are converted and taken using Flix. Now, we have three coins here. We have the PRM, which is the circulating coin. We have the Flix, which is the transaction coin. And we have the RAX, which is the governance coin. If you're deep-rooted in cryptocurrency, you will understand that every currency has a governance coin. Now, those coins are what allows and empower people to influence the extent and the reach of such currency. So, Flix and Rax are our own transactional coin and governance coin. Now, the PRM, transactions from the Primer chain to other blockchain transaction fee with the 0.45% of the value of coins transacted, which the charges are in PRM. So, revenue is also got from exchanges and various services on offer. Now, part of what makes up our tokenomics is the features that was earlier read, that was earlier spoken of by Ridwan. We are going to build an operating system, decentralized operating system, and a decentralized software that has all the features of Primer and is not rigid. but flexible and dynamic that any one person can go to our blockchain and add up to the software. For instance, Android operating system used for mobile phones, iOS used for Apple phones. Those are operating systems that powers the phone. Now, what those operating systems do is they enable you and grant you access to surf in the digital space and use the digital features that are normally not available as physical or tangible things. Now, with our operating system, you become incognito. You become untraceable. No one can trace or track you. Imagine going on Google without being seen. It's not you just downloading another browser that helps you to kill off cookies and all of that. No. Now, this is an operating system created for that purpose. The moment you use a mobile phone that carries the primal OS, just know you are beyond track. Nobody can track you. Everything you do on your phone, including mobile calls, including being on the social media, you have become encrypted. So these are part of the services, and everything about this operating system can only be accessed using PRM. Now, this is what that does. It lays a demand on PRM. What economical values do to currencies is it attracts and it makes demand a necessity, not just a casual want, a necessity. Oh, I need a phone. I need an operating system. I need to get a primal operating system. And the only way I can get a primal operating system is to use the PRM. I don't have a PRM now. So what do? I swap my BNB for PRM. So what that does is it increases demand for PRM. So it's not just a thing of perception anymore. Perception can start a race for you, but cannot take you all the way. You need to have value. And that is what Primal is doing. So everything, even barter, we're going to have a product called barter, which allows you to trade commodities, services. You can trade commodity for service. You can trade service for PRM. And all of these things you can only access using the PRM. Now that also increases demand for PRM. Now I can tell you for a fact that barter is would only be found on the Primal ecosystem. Well, maybe others can pick it up from there. So we've got interesting use cases that would ensure your participation in the community would be that change you seek in the crypto space, that evolution you seek in the crypto space. We haven't come to be like the rest. We haven't come to drop in the pool. We've come to lead the pack. We've come to adapt and be ahead. That is what Primal promises to be. We want to create a digital economy with digital citizens beyond the government control and a few individuals' influence. Now, Primal Coin will be the coin that cannot be influenced by anybody. Now, I'm using that statement, for example, and Elon Musk can decide to dump Ethereum. Maybe he owns 1 million Ethereum. And one morning he wakes up and says, you know, I don't want to deal with Ethereum anymore. I want to go to Bitcoin. He decides to sell off his Ethereum, which is might be valued at $5,000, and decides to sell it off for $2,000. Immediately, Ethereum will plummet, not to $2,000, but even below $2,000. Ethereum will plummet instantly. So that is influence. And that in finance is a control. There's a term for it, which I can't really wrap my head around it right now. Now, Primal Coin will be the first of its coin of all coins that that avoids such cases where someone can just dump and create a limbo effect in the market for Primal. And Primal will not be another dependent coin on the values of Bitcoin. When there's a fall to Bitcoin, you can be rest assured other coins will fall as well. But Primal will stand. The rise and fall of other coins won't affect Primal. Does that mean Primal will never fall? No. Primal could fall. But Primal will never fall drastically because Primal will attain a near stability. And that is something we can assure you. That is something we are working towards because we have come to bring finance to you. So we hope you follow us on this journey. Be a part of the community. Expand it. And we can achieve numerous things in a short space of time. There's so much to say, but there's not much of time to say it all. So I'm going to conclude here, and the rest of the team will be on Twitter to also continue where we're going to be stopping here. Then on Twitter Space, there will be a question and answer session where you can ask questions and any member of the team would provide answer. Now, Twitter Space is not just for tweeting. It's actually a live session as well, as we are having one right now. So we are going to spread the Twitter Space link on all our social channels for you to join, and we'll continue for there. Then the guest speaker who took the first phase will also be available on Twitter Space to continue from where she left off. Now, there's something significant about what she's saying about finance. Many of you are still withholding, believing in the cash value you hold in the bank. Trust me, you'll be doing yourself a favor and more good when you exchange that for crypto. Don't wait till all the economical values of cash currencies fail before you wake up. You need to wake now and embrace crypto. So thank you all for joining us. This is our first ever seminar. The one on Twitter Space will be the second. And we'll plan more others going forward. So see you guys on Twitter. Thank you for joining. Keep following Primal and keep believing in us. Until next time. Bye for now.
Thank you for a great class. Thank you so much.